Why is it that us as women, we are coveting things that are not of us? Hi guys. Hi. So basically I'm back with another video and I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh my god, what do I do with this? Should I sit on them? This is my video. I don't know what the title is, but I do know what it's going to be about, and it's just a message to my sisters. We need to stop trying to be men. And what the heck does that mean, right? But basically, let me explain myself. I didn't want it to go to the spiritual so quickly because I just felt like I needed to provide a background context before I went there. But the spiritual does matter a lot because, you know, we do know that we are coming to the end times and the enemy is moving quickly. And the things that you're seeing in the world, the things that are being pushed through the media, the things that us as women are being told is the way to be a woman, and how it's just so counter to what the Bible is telling us that we are supposed to behave or to be like as women. And I know that a lot of people already have this sort of, you know, viewpoint towards the Bible, this viewpoint towards the Word of God, and, you know, thinking that it's misogynistic, created by men, and it's just supposed to make us fit this patriarchy. But like, the Bible is liberation to all who are enslaved. And by that I mean, to anybody that reads this word, to anybody that takes the message from it, that you're supposed to take from it, not the message that's being told to you through another person's lens, but the core message of the Bible is obviously Jesus. And what did Jesus come to do? He came to free us from sin and that bondage that we had to sin. So at the end of the day, like, when you look at the root of what this Bible is, of what Christianity is, of what walking with Christ is, it's liberation. But then you see liberation meaning something else in the world. I think like the very crux of it is for us as women to understand what our purpose is within the world. And once we understand what our purpose is, we don't need to have a tug war with men on trying to, you know, be like them or trying to have what we see through them as power, but we'll be able to see the power that's inherently in us that we were already created with. As in, you're trying to take something of somebody else's because you see that it's gold when you don't realize that you have a prized possession already in front of you, but not even just in front of you, within you. As in, as a woman, as a female, you know, like, you need to understand that there's something in you that's so amazing, so special, that God created as exactly as you are, because we see a power that men hold, and that power that they hold looks attractive because, you know, it looks mighty, it looks strong, it looks dominating, or the influence, the power, the positions that they have. When it comes to positions and influence and all of these different things, these are great things for us to be able to strive for, because we were created in a world where these different kinds of jobs and roles that you can go for, and they've been open for us to be able to do. Nobody ever said that a woman is limited in her capacity or her capabilities to be able to become a doctor, a CEO, or any of these things. Nobody ever said that, and especially the Word of God is not trying to tell us to not strive for more as women. That is a lie that somebody has probably said through their lens of what the Bible is. But even when you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, it's like this amazing woman that's being exampled as the epitome of what we should all be striving for when it comes to womanhood. And she wasn't someone that was lazy or just stayed at home and cooked and cleaned, but she owned businesses. She owned, and by businesses, I mean the textiles that she did. She made clothing. She traded with merchants. And not only that, but then when you go and you see the fact that, you know, she managed people. She wasn't somebody that was that just like she just woke up and just did nothing because she's a woman. She did nothing. But no, because she's a woman, she got up before it was even as if she was having a race with the sun. She got up early in the morning, out of her bed, and she would begin her day then. She would get her things prepared, get her things in order. She would run her business. She would go and look at real estate, look at land, consider it, and then buy it. And I'm like, looking at this, and then I'm looking at what people have told me about the Bible, and I'm just thinking like, some of these things aren't really aligning, because you're telling me that it's oppressive, it's this thing that's supposed to try and keep me down. But then again, I'm seeing in the Bible and I'm like, but wait a minute. Look at this woman. She's so powerful. She's so influential. She has all this strength. But yet, you don't also see her playing this tug of war with her husband. I think we've gotten it confused about, the roles thing that a woman and a man should have. And I think it's played a part so much so in our understanding of the way that a woman should behave or the way that a man should behave, that it's actually made people so confused that they think that in order to become a woman, I have to behave like this. And because I behave like that, then I have become a woman. When womanhood is so much more than just how you behave. It's so much more than that. And I believe that God gave us such special innate abilities to be helpers. He called us helpers. And to be a helper doesn't mean that you lack the abilities of the person that you are helping, but we were both, men and female, given dominion over this earth to rule the things within the earth. We were given dominion to be able to do that. Eve comes from Adam. Because God said, man cannot be alone. He saw that I've already got this man who's on this earth, who is doing the dominating of all the things on the earth, the creeping things, the flying things, and all of that stuff, right? But then it's like, God's like, okay, something's missing. Something doesn't feel right. I like, it's not good that man should be alone, because all these birds and all of these other things don't match up to the helper or the helpmate that I believe that this man requires. So then what does he do? Puts Adam into a sleep and takes Eve from his rib. And it's this beautiful picture, once she's now formed, of a man and a woman, and now they're cultivating the land. They're doing what's required. Eve is being the helper to be able to do this thing. They're both they both have this co-purpose in dominating this land, and they're working hand to hand until there's the introduction of sin. Everything was perfect in the Garden of Eden. Everything was perfect. As in, there wasn't any confusion about what is my purpose, or what is my role? What am I supposed to be doing? How do I fit into society? I'm looking at the man and I'm like, I don't know, like, I just want what he has. Like, he seems to, the animals listen to him a bit more than they listen to me, he has like this certain like domineering nature that makes like everybody else like, and the Eve is there like, okay, I really just want that. The thing is, what's funny is that Eve actually did covet, because she coveted the power of God. And by power of God, I mean the fact that God said you can't eat from the fruit, the tree of good and evil. And then the snake comes and whispers to Eve, and he's like, but did God really say that? And then that moment then makes Eve start to doubt and to question. And she's like, okay, but like, why can't I eat from that tree though? Like, what's really about that tree that I cannot eat? And you see like how all this coveting business then like becomes an issue. Because of that, she went with it. She was like, I'm going to go and eat from that fruit. But like, why is it that, like, you even see the same thing with Eve? Why is it that us as women, we are coveting things that are not of us? Do you know what I mean? Or can I explain what I mean, actually, before I say, do you know what I mean? Because you can't respond back to me. But what I mean by that is that, why do we strive to have the influence of men when we hold a powerful influence of our own? If we actually spent more time looking at what we have rather than what we don't have, or looking outwards, then we'll be able to see how much power we hold within ourselves. As in, one interesting thing that Dr. Miles Monroe said is that a woman holds influential leadership. So me, I don't have to be the same as any other guy when I want to exercise my leadership. What I need to do is what I already have within me, is to influence. And we do it a lot without actually realizing it, but then we don't actually realize it when it's needed to be realized. Even in my ability to be more, my femininity, and in my ability to be more nurturing, even in my emotional side, because people say that, like, women respond emotionally and men respond more logically, and it does hold some weight. I believe that that is the rule, and whenever you see cases where it's not, that's an exception, but the rule is that women do respond emotionally. We feel things a lot more. Somebody can say something to us and we just won't brush it off our shoulders. If you say something to me that's a bit, like, I'm sitting there and I'm going to think about that, I'm going to internalize, I'm going to be like, wow, like, okay, let me really spend some time thinking about this. Even if I don't want to, I just do. But even the fact that I was made emotional is like, you have to remember, male and female, God knew what he was doing when he said that man should not be alone, and he saw that something was missing with just Adam. And then he took, even if you go to Genesis 1, you see that we were created in the image of God. We are both image bearers. A male and a female are both image bearers of God. I am an image bearer, and so are the males that are around me and all of that stuff. They are my co-image bearers. We're partners. That's what we actually are. We need to start seeing each other as partners, which is a beautiful thing when a man and a woman come together and two become one, because it's like you hold one half, the other person holds one half, and then together you make a whole. So it's like God has an emotional side, is what I'm trying to say. God has a nurturing side, is what I'm trying to say. But the stereotypes that people do use women is that they're weak, but that's just not true though, is it? It's actually not true, because we've seen that women hold the ability to be able to do things. We've seen that women can, like, as unfortunate as, the epidemic of single mothers is, we don't want single mothers. We don't want people raising families by themselves, because it's hard. It's hard for a woman to be able to do it on her own, but we've seen that she can if she has to. She absolutely can. So the fact that, we were made in... the fact that people like to make it seem as if women are weak and they can't do the things that a man can do is a lie. Like, we've seen that we hold the ability to be able to do these things. We know that we can now because we see it. But then it's like, so the thing is, it was never supposed to be that we're limited in capabilities. It was never supposed to be the thing that we're limited in capacity. We hold the ability to be able to do the same things as men. Nobody ever said that we weren't allowed to be leaders as well. It's in the role of a home where you have to understand that to my husband I submit. Again, God made Adam first, and then comes Eve. And because Eve comes from Adam and he has that positional leadership over Eve, and within the home, the man has the positional leadership over the wife, and that is God's order. And God has reasons for why he does things the way that he does them. But don't ever think that you are limited in your abilities or being able to do anything. You are not. We've seen women are not weak, and we should continue to keep striving to do more, to be more, to want more for ourselves. But that doesn't mean that you confuse that with thinking that we need to use your femininity in order to become the big boss. You don't need to do that. You look into the world. Everybody's confused. Like, everybody doesn't know where they're supposed to be. Everybody doesn't know their purpose. Everybody doesn't know, like, how am I supposed to position myself in society and all these things. So, yeah, I guess I'm just... I really had that to get off my chest, but I have a lot to get off my chest. But I just thought, hey, like, let me just come and let me just say hey and just share something off my chest. Gosh. So, yeah. Bye.